Any luck hunting?
That should be enough for a few blankets and tents.
Oh, that's so great. I don't suppose you would mind getting something else for me.
Yeah, no problem. If you've still got room in the caravan.
I'm just thinking, in an unknown climate, we don't know how fast the seasons might turn here, and as I said, it gets pretty cold at night. We should stock softwood for warmth, like, a lot of it. To keep our hearth lit, you know?
Oh. Okay. I'm confused. The Akala hide I just brought you isn't enough?
It's a start, for sure, but we need to be more prepared. Lots of softwood could really save us in a pinch.
Hey, I mean, preparedness is literally your wheelhouse, so I trust you. And finding treasure is mine. I've got your back no matter what.
Good. I hope it's not too much.
All right. I guess I'll be back then.
Thanks, Bryn. Come back with it soon.
A dead body and a hidden cache of materials. It sounds like the start of a Skuld's tale.
All we need is a saber conveniently placed on the mantle and we're set.
More seriously, you said you had an idea about that sheet?
Remember that I used to work the trade lanes?
I do.
The dockers always wanted big loads for the cranes. But certain things, like, say, herbs, you'd only ship in small quantities. Over the years, the convoys developed a system where you'd have runners and haulers. Runners would make quick trips and bring small goods to a drop. Haulers would pack the cargo together and make longer hauls to the docks.
You think we're looking at a similar system, then?
Absolutely I do. It's the sheet you found. That's a requisition for a runner if I've ever seen one. And note how it says Scout Group 23 here? That's a lot of groups.
Which means my mysterious observer is part of a large organization.
And an active one.
Kaz, I have to ask. How does it feel having this specific piece of information at hand right when we need it?
Why?
Because if we suddenly needed to know about Calnhaven or export quotas, I would feel pretty special.
How is that a thing you know exactly?
Dad was a miner. A really good one.
Promise you won't tell the others?
I can manage that.
Then yes. Yes, it feels amazing.
Do the items they're asking for seem important?
No, I don't think so. Lane thinks the garble at the bottom might be, but not the order itself. They're prioritizing fabricated items over raw goods.
What would that indicate?
At a guess, our Hearthsiders have lost, or were expecting to lose, production capacity and wanted backup parts.
How can you be sure the Enclave folks would use similar methods to yours?
It's centuries old, and you don't fix what wasn't broken, especially in a crisis. And from the state of the capital, they were definitely in crisis.
When you say requisition...
Think of it like an order. Bread, cheese, carrots. But left at the drop for the runner to prioritize before the next gather. It takes forethought. There's necessary lag between the order going out and being filled. But any logistician worth their salt can see a few months ahead and plan accordingly.
What do we do with this information, then?
At the bottom of the sheet, there's that series of numbers and letters. Those would represent drop points. I did some digging with Lane, and they're referring to coordinates on a map of the Enclave that was made just before the surge. L7 is part of the capital, see? That's where you found this drop. So, I'm inferring that these other marked coordinates are just as likely to have drops.
I'll check them then.
If nothing else, we could find materials for our own stocks. But I'm hoping there's more.
Maybe where our Hearthsiders are hiding.
Also, Lane was looking over the orders and wanted to talk to you about the writing along the bottom.
More drops, and talk to Lane. Got it. Do you read a lot of Scald's Tales, Kaz?
I do, as a matter of fact. When I can find a transcription. But I'll read just about anything I can get my hands on.
Any favourite storytellers?
Eloisa Farthing. She's a local writer back home. Actually, a lot of her stories are set in Dunbrennig. That's what I like about them. No matter where I am in the world, I can curl up with passages describing our rainy summers or stormy winters. And it's like I'm home.
That's beautiful. Though the weather in Dunbrennig sounds terrible.
It is. What about you? Are you much of a reader?
Of course. Nothing better than curling up with a book by the fire.
Huh. Somehow I wouldn't have guessed.
I think it brings me back to my childhood, too. Not a lot happened in my hometown, so I spent a lot of my time reading or listening to stories from travelers and veterans.
Any favorite books?
Ooh, hard to choose. But maybe The Perennial Skirmish by L.M. Saunton. A fictionalized retelling of Carnhaven's fight for independence from the perspective of an Auburn teenager whose parents are lost in the war.
I haven't heard of it. I'll add it to my list. Sola, Lane, and I have something of an informal book club on the go. We can give you recommendations.
Good to know. I'm surprised Dom isn't involved in that too.
He was, but his invitation was rescinded. The three of us would like to maintain a soothing mood during our meetups. He got too excited and spilled red wine on the pages of our first read, so...
I see.
Swing hard. The Iron Walk. Hilda told me all these amazing stories, but seeing it in person... wow.
Sorry, who?
Oh, my mentor. She visited the Enclave regularly before the Surge. I apprenticed under her for a few years.
What did she tell you?
The noise from the forges made sure you'd only have the smiths and their clients around. But on an average day, some serious coin would trade hands. The Enclave's smithing culture was such a draw, it started to cause tensions with the other nations. It didn't help that the Enclave would actively poach the best and brightest. They had deep purses.
I've heard stories of that. Some of the Carnhaven masters had moved and never returned after the veil went up.
The Surge was horrible for everyone, of course, but I reckon a few smithing guilds were happy to not have the competition anymore.
Making the best of it, I suppose?
And make the best of it they did. need a game of Panjal?
After last time?
You wanted to talk about the supply orders?
Indeed. It's about the gibberish along the bottom. Notice how the writing is in a different hand.
Yes, I can see that.
We're looking at a cipher. Someone sharing encoded notes.
Any initial guesses as to what the cipher says?
Hard to say exactly, but what we know is these orders were for Scout Group 23. So let's assume there is an organized group of Hearthsiders arranging these drops. At a guess, this was an unofficial channel of information passed to those in the field.
Information that would be invaluable to us.
Agreed. Why encode text if it's not significant?
You're sure we're dealing with a code and not just doodles?
While possible, it's not likely that someone would scrawl nonsense on the bottom of official orders. Why do so? To practice calligraphy? To refine their writing? Perhaps. But this is decidedly not calligraphy. Ergo, cipher.
What's your background with ciphers, Lane?
There's something of a hobby for me. Specifically, breaking them.
A fan of knowing secrets?
More a fan of information being shared freely. But also, yes, Udean nobility relies on them heavily, and being privy to the dirty laundry of the nobles is advantageous.
Can you give me a quick rundown on encoding, so I'm sure I'm following?
A favorite topic of mine? Cipher is a blanket term for securing text so that only an intended recipient can read it. They range from reasonably simple swaps of letters to complex changes that require devices or key sheets to solve. But, as notes quickly added to supply orders, the codes we are dealing with were simple by necessity.
Sounds like we have a cipher to break. I'll keep hitting dead drops.
Any code is easier to break with more samples. You can work on it like any other research project.
odd. That ark's just standing there. No sign of damage, but there's something lodged in the back plate. It's a thingy.
So technical. I'll take a look later.
If the surge hadn't hit so hard, the steps would lead to the spire. Alas. Elected representatives would convene there, including the Enclave's leader.
Imagine the time when Weavers had our own governing body. According to the old maps, that path leads to the Bastion, their military stronghold. This must be the Bastion.
A large military was never the Enclave's priority. They did not aspire to conquest. Instead, they focused on defense. Their core interest was protecting not only their civilians, but their cutting-edge innovations.
lifeline, Bryn. Can't stretch the scry any further.
Soldiers could see them leagues from Vigilant Falls, but patrollers would easily spot incoming attacks.
Far jump, even for you.
Too bad I don't have wings.
Feathers wouldn't suit your face. Lane, any idea what that pillar is?
I did find a reference to the Trial of Fires, a rite of passage for new Bastion Swarm before they could cross over to their new life.
Crossing over? Trial of Fires? Unsubtle. Bryn, what happens if you make it hot? Nice work.
Pretty involved. Still, you'll have no trouble when it's your turn to head back out in the field.
Be sure to scour the Bastion. Few sights are as impressive as a Highland ice claw mid-flight on a clear day. The way the sun reflects off its wings. Majestic.
happy to weave that into your mantle.
The keep housed the Enclave's war room. Matters of high security were discussed inside. Private chambers, perhaps belonging to the Bastion's commander.
A letter to the commander from Khan Stanield. He signed his title beneath the Eye. Times have necessitated an information blackout. The cause of the casualties must be purged from even the Bastion's most secure records. Furthermore, military personnel are to be separated from civilians, unless facilitating the evacuation from Denevron. If word of the problem's true severity spreads across the populace, it will be uncontrollable. It is imperative that Asylum succeeds.
Paints a stark picture.
Asylum? What could that be?
Scour the rest of the keep and find out.
Found a key swatch. There's a note with it. It says, Commander, it's ready. Use the harness to execute Asylum.
Another key swatch. It'll lead us to whatever the harness is.
Only one way to find it.
The key swatch is exciting, but it feels like there is more to discover about Asylum here in the Bastion.
Agreed. I'll keep looking.
Enclave soldiers would have slept here during training.
Should be a drop somewhere around here. Another notice. Drops must be completed and all runners to safety before the next predicted flood.
This confirms they have a way to predict the floods, and some way to stay safe.
Let's stay focused on our runners for now.
Some sort of access beneath the keep.
War room.
It looks like the recorded minutes of the meetings that took place here. The last one is dated roughly 26 years ago.
What was it about?
A lot of information was torn off. Casualties got too high due to something they blotted over with ink. And the military commander should execute a defensive measure called Asylum.
Military workshop for enchanters.
The Enclave never used magic to expand its borders, but had to defend itself.
Against nations that thought otherwise.
Exactly.
Research notes from about 40 years ago, probably from an enchanter that worked here. Observing Ark degradation. Looks like there was an expected and normal amount of degradation observed in the Arks following the surge. But once the Arks start killing civilians, it says this is a systemic failure. What could that mean?
It means the Arks weren't sent to attack us as a means of defense.
They've lost control over us.
A final note scrawled on the cover page. The Archons will be no use in Asylum's execution.
Brilliant. All these documents you've collected, I might be able to piece together what Asylum is if you find out where that key swatch leads.
That's my next move, then.
After the surge, no one was even sure that anyone inside the Veil survived. Yet, clearly they've been here in dire straits this entire time. Why didn't they lower the Veil to seek help? Surely a few broken arcs isn't what stopped them.
These Weavers had to make choices for their own survival since the surge. And they succeeded. Whatever their reasons are for keeping the Veil active, we shouldn't judge them too harshly for it.
I agree completely. Still... never mind. It's silly.
Can't help but wonder what life might have been like if they'd lowered the Veil.
Not just for them, but for all of us. No matter who you were or where you came from, the Enclave could be your home. After the surge, Weavers didn't just lose the Enclave. We were outcasts in every nation. Not that I need to tell you that. You sacrificed a lot to become a Weaver. The Veil served as a constant reminder that magic was the source of all the world's problems. A convenient scapegoat for every failed leader. And Weavers were an acceptable casualty. And the Hearthsiders just left it there.
So we need to find out why.
Did you manage to find enough softwood?
If you need more than this, the Don Brennick Pine Preservationists will come for me. Here you go.
Oh, great.
You don't sound as happy as I thought you'd be.
It's just that what I'm realizing is the Weaver Band really needs Drake scales. Like, give or take 90 to be safe.
Wait, 90 Ash Peak Drake scales?
Yeah, not the easiest thing to get, but maybe instead of fighting drakes, you could find one of their nests. I think they shed, right?
Kaz, you know I'd love to spend my days hunting down drakes for you, but 90? What could we possibly need 90 scales for?
Because... It's hard to explain, but... Please, can you trust me? I just really need you to trust me.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Casmin, what's going on? Are we outfitting an army?
Because it's... I just think we could...
Don't you think Bryn's got you pretty well stocked at this point?
But... You're right. I got carried away. Sorry.
It's okay.
Thanks for all your help. Excuse me, I'm gonna put all this away now.
You all right?
Yeah, Yeah, I'm fine.
If you say so. Good work, Bryn. We'll take care of the rest of this.
Hey, Bryn. Sorry I got carried away with our errands.
It's okay, Kaz. What was going on with that, though? Are you alright?
Yeah. Sometimes there's so much to do, it's hard to keep my head on straight.
Maybe you should take a day to relax. Our ongoing disaster isn't going anywhere.
I don't know how anyone relaxes in here. What about you?
Me?
Yeah. What do you do to relax?
You know, the forest around the camp is actually pretty nice. When I need to clear my head, I just take a short walk. The sound of rushing water from the brook is lovely. It always brings me peace.
The growl of a calla stalking you in those treks doesn't pull you out of meditation?
Nah, it comes with the territory.
I'll stick to the campsite.
When all else fails, a nap always helps too.
For Ashar, maybe. As a Kashar, I don't need as much sleep as the rest of you.
Sure, but you need some kind of break from time to time, Kasmin.
I'll think about it.
I have asked our third friend to join us since he demonstrated such insight with the Loom Gates.
It was just a lucky guess.
Nonsense. The Loom Gate works. Enough said.
Gents, the, thingy?
Dom said you found it attached to an ark. One that was shut down.
No sign of damage, but this part came off easily.
It's safe to assume it wasn't part of the original construction then. The arcs are famously durable.
Bryn, think back. How does it compare to the ark we found outside the Veil?
Exactly the same. Completely motionless. At least, at first.
We should take another look at our newest friend then. Care to do the honors?
Same place? Same place.